Afternoon, everyone. So we're going to start our free online lesson on Navisworks clashes shortly. So, but while we are waiting for the others, I'm just going to share the slide now. All right. And then a couple of the reminder, if you have any question, just feel free to drop inside the chat bar. I'm always free to answer your question during the session. Don't worry about interrupting me. All right. All right. So also, if you have any of your colleagues who like to join us for today, just let them know. We're going to get started very soon. All right. So now we're going to start our free online lesson for today. So for today, what we're going to see is that how we can use Navisworks to conduct the clashes, and then after that, how we can view them back inside the Revit. There are two ways that I can share with you for today to view back those clashes inside the Revit. It is either we use switchback that directly open the view inside the Revit, or we can also use the element ID where we can get them from the report of the Navisworks and then find them inside the Revit. All right, so you are with me, Haja, today for Navisworks clashes and checking them inside the Revit. So let's get started first about running the clashes checking inside the Navisworks. So what we're going to see is that first I'm going to show you how we can conduct the very basic clashes, what kind of setting that you can do, and then after that we can see how we can review and then view those clashes and how we can select the kind of the status that we want to assign to that. And then after that we can see also how we can group those clashes accordingly and then create them report in HTML file, or you want also create in the viewpoint kind of the type for the report. All right, welcome Nabiha, welcome T, welcome Hashanti, welcome Anim, and welcome Mr. Ng. So let me get started first with the Navisworks. So what I have here, this is the Navisworks Manage. In order for you to do the clashes, we have to have the Navisworks Manage. What you are seeing here now is the Revit project. So this is a Revit project. I open the selection tree here, and then I go for these under this Navisworks. You can see that this all NWC file. This is what we export them from the Revit. For instance, if I have a structure Revit here, so I just have to export them by using the external tool and Navisworks, and then I can get the NWC file to input into here. Right. So for the first one on how we want to conduct the clashes, very basic, and you just have to go to the home. And then after that, you can see that the clash detective, that is where we select them. And then under this here, you see that there are no currently clashes tests are defined. So we have to first create the test. So just click on the test on the top here. So you just can click on add test, and that will belong to one test. So I'm going to right click and rename this as perhaps I'm going to create first the mechanical to sprinkler. All right. And then you see here on, all right. So here we have the selection A, and then we have here the selection B. So you want to select what kind of the clashes between two items that you want to create. So from the selection A here, I'm going to expand this, all right, and I'm going to select mechanical, and I'm going to conduct for the selection B for sprinkler here. All right, so welcome who just joined us just now, Cairo, Brian. We are now trying to conduct one clashes test for the first one, mechanical to sprinkler. So I select on selection A, the mechanical, and then on the selection B, I select the sprinkler. You can also expand them if, let's say, that you want to, according to specific components, ceiling, the door, you can just go expand them and then toggle which one component that you want to create clashes between them. All right, and then after you have created these selection A and a selection B, see that on the down below we have the setting, the type of the clashes that you want to create. Okay, so for instance here, this is clearance. If you want to create the clearance type, hard clashes, if you want to do the duplicate kind of clashes. So for instance, I'm going to create the clearance clashes with 2 inches here, and then after that, another one here. You see that we want to create the type of the clashes between surfaces, Usually for a Revit model, for the P model, we use these surfaces. So if you have the CAD file, you might want to do with the lines, you might want to do with the points accordingly. So for this one, I'm going to select the surfaces only. I'm just going to turn off the pointer. All right, and then just create a run test. Okay, I have here 127 clashes. So you see that over here, the result for all the clashes that we have created. So if I go down, that is combination of the 127 clashes here. And for each one of these, let's say that I click on the clashes 16. If I select them, it will view inside this view here on this right side. And then you can see also what is highlighting the color here. The item 1 is highlighted in the red color and the item 2 is highlighted in the green color. So you can also see here the item one is with which one colored, and then also item 2 with the green color here. And aside from that, whenever we create, we're selecting one of these, you can also see the item will be also shown what kind of item they are being clashes here, the component that clashes here, and also on the item 2 as well here. Okay. The other setting here, let me show here. If I zoom out slightly bit, I cannot see the other building. That is because I hide the other, so I can turn off them, or can hide the other. I want to see them, but just dim a bit. So I click on dim other, so that's how I can see the other thing on the background. Okay, and also here, you see that you can focus on the clashes. If suddenly you zoom out a slightly bit and then you lost those clashes, you can always click on the focus clashes and it will zoom in again on that clashes. A viewpoint that we can see also here, the show simulation. What this means is that, for instance, if I click on the clash 39, okay, let me turn off this. So it's supposed to be zoom in and zoom out a bit because this one might be not be set up earlier, but that is what it does. It will zoom in and zoom out for you to show the simulation for that clashes. And then you can also select if you want to view in the contact, is that the home button, is that the file only, or if you want to see all of them, you can see that you can select them from here. Another thing here, let's say that you want to hide the other all component, and you see that here currently is pretty messing up a bit here. So again, you can just hide other, and then or you can also dim other, or you can also transparent dimming. You can select them for the viewpoint from here. All right. So the next thing that I want to do is that you can also see here, if let's say that you want to see in the background all the clashes that you have conduct 127 here, you can select on highlight all clashes, and that will show you. If I zoom out a bit and I click, so that it will show you all the clashes that we have between these 5 mechanical to sprinkler 127. And if you want to just see the clash 39, you can focus on the clashes, or you can also turn off the highlight of all clashes. All right, so that is how you can conduct a very basic clashes here. So I'm just going to repeat for another one test. For those who just joined us, we are currently conducting a 1 clashes mechanical to sprinkler. So if let's say that now I'm going to add another test here, I click on add test. So if you want to create a new one, you just click on the add task here. Okay. Make sure that you open first the Clash Detective for those who just joined us. Right. And then you can rename them by double clicking as well. And then again, for instance, this will be between architecture to structure. So this is very, very general clashes that I do here. Right, and then you can see also under the rules, you can setting up them either that those clashes in the same layer, meaning that if you put them under the same for the wall, that will be only in the wall that we selected, or is it in the same file? If you grouping them inside the selection tree on here, and then you group them according as a group. That will be item in the same group. Or you can also, this is if you have the WG file where you want to have the clashes between coincident snap points. So accordingly, you can select this rule, but this rule is for ignoring the clashes, not selecting those clashes again, sorry. So this one means that if I select any of these, for instance, item in the same file. So let's say that I'm going to select ignore the clashes between items in the same file. So that will be even though we have we want to see the ceiling from the architecture and the structure. Let's say that there is also architecture folder that we select also, that will be ignored if those clashes happened. All right. So that is if you want to create the rules. And then now I'm just going to go for selection A, architecture, and then selection B for structure. You can also see here, this is according to very standard file because we export them according to how we export them. But you can also see here that you can have according to the compact, it will be changed accordingly, properties, according to the properties of the model that you have. Okay, so you can select what kind of the selection type, file type that you want to select from this selection A and also selection B. And then for this one, I'm going to do just the hard clashes. I'm going to put on the 0 tolerance. Okay, this is the system that you can type in, and I'm just going to run the test again. Oh, that's pretty lot of clashes there, 4,000 something, 5,000 here. All right. So let me go back to mechanical to sprinkler clashes here. So let's say that if you start in them and then you review them, and then for instance, you see that there's some of the clashes here that might not be exactly the clashes that you want to do. Maybe you just want to ignore them. Okay, so for instance, this is the clashes that we cannot ignore them. So I can either select here the status, is it active, is it reviewed, is it approved, resolved, or you can also assign them to the person that need to resolve this issue. So you just click on the assign button on top here. Okay, and then put in assign to the BIM modeler, BIM designer, BIM coordinator that need to resolve this. For instance, I'm just going to type in AB here. All right, and then click OK, and that will be assigned to AB on here whenever we see them back the report on here. All right, so that is how you can assign the classes. Let's say that I'm just going to go a bit more, 1 to 7, and the last one maybe. All right. Okay, welcome to those who just joined us. We are now conducting the clashes, mechanical to sprinkler. Okay, so this one, perhaps this is not a clashes. I cannot see any clashes here. This is a bit heavy. I'm just going to theme others. Oh, there is no clashes here. So what you can also do is that assign the status. For instance, this one, I'm just going to click on the resolve here. And that will be, if you see on the status here, 1 resolve, and then there's 1 clashes. So that will be left with the 126. And then another tool here is that you can also do compact all. So if I click on the compact all here, all the resolve will be deleted, and then it will reflect back only on the active clashes only. So the resolve will be deleted by default. All right, so that is if you want to assign, and then you want to resolve the clashes. All right, and then another one here for the conducting clashes inside this Navisworks. For instance, this one, if I click and then selecting them, they are belong to the same type here. 1 to maybe see back 9, 10. All right, so that is between those piping with the duct here. So maybe what I can do is that I can select 1 to 10 here, and I want to group them. So I can select all of these, and I click on the new group. So if I click on the new group here, and I'm just going to rename these duct to 5. Okay. And I'm going to drag them belong to that clashes. And that will be, if you see here, they all being included into this group. And then what you can see on the top here, the number of the clashes will be also reduced. So all those 10 clashes in now are being considered as one clashes under one group only. So that will reduce the number of the clashes that we can see on the top here. All right. So that is how you can group the clashes by using the new group here, and then you just drag those clashes into that group accordingly. Okay, and then aside from that, what you can do again, you can assign to the individual for this group. Okay, you can just type in again a V and I click on OK, and all of these, you see that they will be assigned to the EAV. Okay, that is for grouping the clashes, and then you can also see that now when we selecting them, it will highlight it on all of those 10 clashes that we have in this group. Okay. The next thing that I want to do now is that creating the report for all of these clashes. So how we want to do that is that if I go to on the top here, you can see select a result and a report and then the rows. So now we want to create the report. So we just have to go to the report. So I'm going to go to the report here. So you can select what kind of the content that you want to include within this report. Maybe the summary, clash points. So I'm just going to select thing. This point, all right, simulation date, simulation event, nope. Okay, so you can select which ones that you want to include into the report, and then the kind of the status, what kind of the clashes that you want to export. So I'm just going to select on the active one and also the new one. Okay, and then you can also select the report type. Is that all the tasks or is it the combined task? So I'm just going to click on the current task, meaning that this mechanical to sprinkler. If I click on the combine, it will combine all of the task architecture to structure also within the report. Or you want to create the task for architecture to structure, mechanical to sprinkler, but in a separate document, you can select all tasks separate here. So I'm just going to select current task, and then this is for the format of the task. So you see that here we have HTML tags or as viewpoint. So for this first one, I'm just going to select as viewpoint. Okay, and then what you want to do is that ensure that you click on the preserve without highlighting. What this means is that you want to ensure that they use the color from this color, red and also green. So ensure that those clashes are being highlighted with those colors. So just click on the white report. And then this viewpoint, if you notice now, it appears on the sidebar. Okay, mechanical to sprinkler, so I can expand them. So all of these clashes here, and then if you select them, they will be open accordingly. But this kind of the report, just a quick reminder or notice for you, is that if you do as a report as a viewpoint, it will take up a slightly bit of your performance of your Navisworks, because the viewpoint will actually add extra sizes to your project, so that might not be what you want to do. So instead of me going to create a one HTML report here, I'm just going to click on the right report. All right, so this mechanical to sprinkler, and then just click on the save. Done. So I'm just going to open that report. So this is, there's no report here. Clashes 15, 16. I'm going to check it back. This is clashes 17, 19, 19. Some of them are missing in a view. You can see that them not showing in the view. But again, how we want to see them inside the Revit now. If let's say that now you have to resolve all of these issues inside your Revit. So what you can do, the first thing that I want to show is that we can directly open from the Navisworks, we can directly open those clashes inside the Revit. So how to do that is that I'm just going to go back to my task here. All right. So for instance here, yep, that is because I trimmed the other. All right. So what I can do is that if you see on here, the classes, there is, let me just click on this. There is a pipe type here. So you can select, if you select, see here, this is from the sprinkler Revit, and then this is from mechanical. So what you need to ensure that on your Revit, you open that file. So for instance, I have mechanical here, and then here is the structure model. I can also open the sprinkler if I want to view them inside the sprinkler project. And then you have to ensure first under your add-ins, under the external tool, the Navisworks switchback is being turned on by selecting them. You are enabling them inside your Revit. And then after that, you can go back to your Navisworks and then ensure that you select here and then go to switchback here. So you see that on the top here, we have the switchback for these two according to the item here. So if you're selecting on this side, it will bring to the sprinkler project. If you're selecting from here, this will be open from the mechanical. So I'm going to click on the switchback here. Okay, so for the first one, if you are doing this for the first one, this will appear because the path have been need to be defined first. So what you want to do is that you click on the browse here, and then selecting the project file that you have for this mechanical or your Revit. So I'm going to select mechanical Revit here, and I click on OK. All right, so I'm going to select back on my switchback here, click on the switchback, and then see that here. Okay, so that is the pipe there, and then you can also now is being selected on the properties that is the clashes for the number 57 here. This is the pipe here. So I cannot see this view. You can change them accordingly to see them, the wireframe, or you can also see them whichever that can show that hidden. So you see that whenever we do this the first time, although after this, what the Navisworks will do is that it create one 3D view for us that called Navisworks switchback. So you can see that these Navisworks switchback are being created by you by default, and then they will open that view, and then you can see that which one properties element that has the clashes. So what I normally do is that I can, if I want to view them back after this inside this Revit, I don't want to lose them. So I'm just going to report them maybe under the comment here. So I'm just going to put in them under clashes 57. So let me just go back here and then click back on the switchback. So you see that it will be highlighted in orange if those switchback has already been conducted. Just do that again one more time. All right. So I can just type in the comment here. This is the clashes for 59. Click on apply. So this will allow you later, if let's say that you want to resolve them later, you can create the schedule, and then after that we can highlight in the model again, so that we can easily track them back inside Revit. That is the first one, is that you can use the switchback. But again, this one according to your species spec, sometimes it might be like a bit whenever you click on them because of your species spec. Maybe some of the issue will not be shown because of the visibility inside your Revit. For instance, it's hidden. For instance, if I click on the shaded here, okay, this is shown. If there is another item there, that is where you want to ensure that under the properties you input first under the comment which clashes is that. Also here, if I go back to this view, Navisworks switchback here, If let's say you still cannot see them, please do try to check on the display, because now we are only seeing the plumbing. So if those element is belong to the other plumbing, this always happen if let's say that you are doing MEP in one Revit project. So you might set up a plumbing, you have the mechanical, and then you have the electrical. So you want to ensure that the proper view are being selected for the Navisworks switchback view. So let's say that you have those MEP in one project, you might want to select the coordination so that you can view them inside that project. Okay, so that is the first thing about the visibility. The another thing here, if I go back here, if let's say that you don't want to do the switchback because maybe you don't have enough species pack to do that, maybe it will lag a bit on your PC. So what you want to do is that you have this report, and also if let's say that you are not the one that who conduct those coordination, you don't have the Navisworks, you only get this report from the BIM coordinator. So what you want to do is that under here we can find for all these clashes. For instance, these clashes here, I can find the element ID. All right. If I go down, all of them have the element ID. So this number, you can copy them. So for instance, this clash belong to 11. I can go back to Revit, and I can go to manage, and I can go to select by ID. But before I do that, let me just open one view that show all of them. I'm just going to go here and then select by ID. And I'm going to just paste on that ID and then click on show. It will try to open the best view. Again, if you cannot see them, you see that this element have been selected now. I cannot see them because it's hidden by the wall. I think this is roof. And I can click again show, and it will keep opening the right view for us. So this is the item, and this is one. It's being highlighted with the blue, and then you can see also this. Show again if you are not satisfied with that view, and I click on show again until you are satisfied with that view. So that is if you need to use the element ID here. Now this is a better view. So similar, I can just go again and I click, type in also on the comments. So this will belong to clash 11. All right. Okay. So again, as I mentioned, the reason why I type in all the clashes into the comment here, so that it will be easily after this, whenever I create again the schedule. For instance, I'm going to create schedule here for all the ducting. So for instance, this belong to the ducts. You can just click on OK there, and I can select family and type. Put in their parameter for family and type and the comment. And I click on OK here. Okay, so we can see those clashes here. So it will be easily later if let's say that you want to resolve them, you can just select them and then highlight in model. And that will open again according to the good view that you want. All right, so that's pretty much on how you can create the clashes inside the Navisworks, and then how you can then transfer them back into the Revit. So this is the workflow that we do manually, meaning that we have to input all those highlighted clashes into the Revit. We have to insert in under the comment, and then we have to resolve them accordingly inside the Revit. The very quicker way, another workflow, the automate way. If you have seen before, I conduct another free online lesson on how we can automate those repetitive work by using the Dynamo. So that is, you can also use the Dynamo actually to script all those clashes and then view them back inside the Revit. But that is not what we are going to cover for today free online lesson. That might be on another free online lesson. Otherwise, I'm just going to recap back what we have done for today. We have conduct the clashes checking inside the Navisworks. We have create the clash test. We have review and view those status of those clashes. We group them together, and then we get the report as a viewpoint format and also HTML format. And then after that, we see inside the Revit how we can see them back. The very quick one is that you can use the Navisworks switchback. Another way is that you can copy from your report the element ID and then search time inside the Revit. Okay, just another one here. The additional note is that the switchback can be used with the Revit. It can also be used with the AutoCAD. It can also be used with the MicroStation and also Inventor software. So not just only Revit that you can do the switchback. If you have the AutoCAD Plan 3D and so on, you can also see them, view them inside that software. All right, I think that's pretty much for today. I'm just going to open if there is any question. But while we are at that, I'm just going to go, if you want to see our free online lesson, you can just go to our website. And then down below here, all right, we have the upcoming free online lesson again. And then also, if you have, if you want to see the previous one, you can just click on our YouTube channel. So just now I mentioned the repetitive work that I have conducted. So you can also go to search here. So for instance, on how to use the Dynamo, you just type in and then you can see that this is the Dynamo that can automate those repetitive work inside the Revit. I think, is there any question? Let me just check. Okay, no, I think that's pretty much for today. Thank you everyone for joining us on today's free online lesson. Take care and have a nice day. Bye-bye.